James, have you ever been heartbroken?
Probably once, Jenny, but I've dated many, many men, and I've mainly been the dumper. So...
Okay, deep intake of breath here for that moment. Have you ever been in love?
Yep, yeah, 2 or 3 times I have.
Okay, how many relationships have you had?
You know, how do you class a relationship? But if it's more than, say, a couple of months, maybe 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. And how long do they usually last?
A couple of months, Jenny.
Do you ever reflect on the relationships very much?
Yeah, for sure. And I have a great time doing that. But I think what I often do is if I break up with someone is I have a party. And that will actually create a really great present memory. That's
for the dumper.
Yeah. Well,
but what about the dumpee?
Well, I've broken up with the dumpee, so they could throw their own party as well.
Do you feel any duty of care to the dumpees?
I don't think so.
Okay, so how do you know, though, how heartbroken or not these people are?
Well, if they're getting a vegetable pity patch and they're sort of, you know, in the fetal position and I feel so sorry for Billy. I feel so sorry for Billy.
Hang on, I feel like I need to protect Billy here.
But she's such a... And I watched her talk her story and she's such a beautiful woman and, you know...
I'm fine now.
Yeah.
We've broken up.
Yeah,
Things are good. Life's good.
But at the time, I wouldn't want to be in that house. You know, what a sad house. I mean, 2 lovely women and just throw a party and have a good time and try to move on.
How do you usually break up with people, though?
Lately, text message or email to just... I'm not married with kids, right? So we're talking like, you know, 6 months relationships or... I definitely love communication and I definitely love face-to-face communication. But I think starting with a text message or an email maybe can just...
What do you say in those text messages? I'm feeling really uncomfortable asking those questions. What do you say in those text messages to people?
You know, it's not a laughing matter. Like, it is serious. It's my life. I would probably say, you know, look, things aren't really working out. Maybe we should end it. What do you think?
And what if they say, I don't think that's a good idea?
Then we might have to have the email, which will have a bit of a longer explanation of all the issues, and then the face-to-face conversation.
Is there a reason why you don't do it face-to-face in the start? Is there a memory that you've got from that?
No, I just think it's probably quite a smart thing to do. If you look at Josh, he's hanging around the house the whole morning waiting to hear the news of what his girlfriend wants to tell him, and if she had just perhaps texted him at the big day out, they could have had a much smaller conversation the next day. It does come, you know...
This is love, though, right? You're going to say that these relationships are love?
Sure. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But, look, you know, it's funny and it's jocular here, but sometimes a text message can be quite efficient. I mean, what do you think from the side of...
that was like, phew!
Efficient is one way to describe it.
Very efficient.
I do have a lot of friends that drag these things out, though, for 6 months or 8 months, and they stay friends with the person, and they're trying to be nice to the person, and they think that's the right thing to do. But actually, if the person has lots of other friends, it's time to kill it and let them free. I think the other important thing to remember too with the heartbreaker and the heartbreakee is that the person that's breaking up has probably gone through a lot of those emotions and processes in the weeks or the months leading up to that decision, and then you're sort of not aligned because the breakee then has to go through the same sort of thought processes as well. So it's not a fair situation either.
I'm interested though in how sort of clean your thinking is about this. Like you just are not letting the other side's feelings get it all in the way of what you think about the relationship and the way it ends.
I think tonight's been very unfairly unbalanced because we don't really know who these heartbreakers are. And by the same token, I don't really know who the heartbreakees are. Everyone has flaws and everyone has problems in a relationship. So, look, I'm fantastic. If I meet someone that's really fantastic, I want to be with them for as long as possible. But if there are issues in the relationship and it's over, and we've spoken tonight that you can't control these feelings completely, you've got to move on. So, you know, I've actually been really unlucky and have had a really bad run of dating, you know, multiple men who have flaws as well.
Do you have any flaws?
Yeah, sure, Jenny.
Would you like to share any of them with us?
Choices in T-shirts and coming onto TV shows.
Friends with any of your exes?
Yeah, I'm still friends with a few of my exes, and I would love to be friends with all of my exes, but I would say on the whole, I'm not friends with... most of them choose not to be friends with me anymore. Yeah.
Have you been heartbroken? Or have you
Yes.
always done the breaking? Because I just wonder if you would
Well, I
continue
don't
to break so
think-
many people's hearts in such a rapid fashion if you'd actually experienced strong heartbreak yourself.
I have. First of all, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Like my first boyfriend, I was definitely in love with him and I was definitely heartbroken, but the way in which I moved on was the way I did it. There's really only been one guy that I really, really liked, and I wrote him a song and that was about it.
Actually, question.
Yeah.
So, another thing that I think is missing from the discussion, right, is that as the person who breaks up, it's not as if you don't experience any trauma yourself, right?
Absolutely.
You know, so I mean, I also remember going through a couple of years of withdrawal after breaking up a relationship, a long-term relationship, and you know, so the idea that somehow it's you know, one has to be a monster to break up a relationship. No, it can be difficult from both sides.
Yeah, I don't think we're suggesting for a moment that it's only the person who is broken up with that experiences the pain. Billy Rose, what did you do?
Well, I built a veggie patch or a pity patch. Someone so kindly put it. But I just became obsessed with growing my veggies, and I had a lot of green in my room. So it was kind of like a healing as the time went on. My garden got, you know, I mean, it wasn't heaps. It was a few veggies.
How's the garden now?
Dead. But I'm all healed. By then, I started partying and going out, and, you know, life got good.